Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com. Today we are talking about the brass tacks here in Venezuela, the things that you have to take care, just, the essentials, the most important things before you come here to Venezuela. Of course, that's going to depend on your particular endeavor here. If you are a digital nomad that just want to kick out here from the next 3 months or so, or if you are coming, let's say, for way more time, or just eco-friendly guy or gal and wants to visit Santo Angel, Canaima, or Los Roques, or some of we have a bunch of jungle here and bunch of beaches and tropical beaches and such. So depends on to you, or if you're an investor and you want to invest here. And of course, if you are just a random tourist that wants to check Venezuela from the box of the 50 or 100 countries that you want to visit on the world. So today, brass tacks here in Venezuela. Let's start. Number one is your paperwork. Of course, depending on which citizen, what's your country of residence and your passport, or if you have multiple passports, you have to take care of which passport you have on your hand and you are legal to have, and if you can enter with that passport here in Venezuela. In case you don't know, you need a visa if you come from the States or Canada or in many other countries all over the world. And you're a Western European, you're pretty good. You can come with your passport. But the most important thing is taking care of your paperwork. You need, of course, a handful of stuff, requirements, showing a couple of papers. After that, you're coming here and should be no problem with that. It should be easy. But take care of your paperwork first. Number two is your budget. After that, of course, Venezuela can be expensive or can be very cheap, regarding and depending on your situation, on the length of your stay. Venezuela, I always talk about Venezuela is not dirt cheap or not crazy expensive. It is a little bit pricey for Latin American standards. The thing is, the things that are cost the most, where you see high prices, is on discretionary spending, food, leisure, and hospitality. So, by other hand, you have to mention that housing, energy, gas, transportation, and professional services are usually cheaper. So, what I will say regarding budget, please, of course, make an estimated a budget of how much you're going to spend on which areas you're going to spend with. But the major thing I'm going to say regarding your budget is that if you stay for a short period of time, I'm talking just a couple of days or a week, it's going to be expensive because you're going to be eating out and such. So you're going to spend a lot if you come just for a few days. But the longer you stay, since the other things that are cheaper here in Venezuela are going to start to adding up, in this case, adding down. So your overall cost of living is going to be trending down per day. So take care of that side. So keep that in mind when you're doing your budget for Venezuela. Number three is insurance. Of course, being insured, your medical, you have to take care of those. And of course, also depends on your particular situation. If you have a pre-existing condition, a medical condition, let's say you have a heart condition or you need insulin because you have diabetes, type 1 diabetes, such. Well, depends on, do all the medical and insurance planning. Here on the short term, I recommend just hiring and paying for travel insurance, and of course a bunch of digital nomad pages can explain that better than I can. And if you stay for the long term, getting an insurance policy here is not as hard and it's not as expensive. for the long term. So take care of that. Number four is lodging. Yet again, just as discussed on the budget side, if you stay just for a couple of days, it's gonna be more expensive per day compared to if you stay for a couple of months. If you stay for just a few days, stay on a hotel or stay on an Airbnb, will be no issue for that. Worst case scenario is just a couple of days, how much you're gonna spend on that. But make sure you are very centric, you have on a very, I'm saying practical location for the endeavor of your trip. Now, if you're gonna stay for 1 month or so, or more than that, I recommend you to get real estate assistance because you're gonna get way more for what you're paying for. I don't recommend Airbnb for longer terms, longer stays here in Venezuela. You can maybe get a couple of deals on Airbnb. However, you're gonna get the best result if you hire real estate assistants. By the way, one of the things that we do on Venezuela Insider. But regardless, you can hire maybe someone else. But the main takeaway is that if you get real estate assistance, it's going to be cheaper on the long term and you're going to get more bang for your buck. Number five, logistics. Well, depending on your purposes here in the country, I recommend to pick a strategic location on the country, or if you're just visiting one particular city and go back, I recommend you stay on the best areas of the city. First, for security reasons. Number two, because it's gonna be more better. You are gonna be better positioned in order to run some errands or traveling around, going from the airport to after that going to the main sites of the particular Venezuelan city that you're choosing from, and also because it's gonna be easier to move around to the rest of the country. So keep that in mind, the logistics part and transportation, of course. Number six is your network. The same old cliche, your network is your net worth. On the Venezuelan case, it's not going to be different. Actually, it's going to be a plus if you have it. It's going to be a downside if you don't have it. Before you come to Venezuela, please try to build the network. There's a couple of people that's going to help you regarding your particular operation here. Could be anything, could be leisure or hospitality, or just doing business or investing or whatever might be the case. So it's important to maybe get around a couple of people on your Venezuelan network. And number seven, know what you're doing. I've seen all the time, I'm sorry, I have to bash you all the time, especially from the US and Canada, but also Western Europe, from Western Europeans and such. But know what you're doing here. This is not your country. It could be your country on 5 to 10 years or so. Great, if you put the work, if that's what you want. However, remember, Venezuela, you're not in Kansas anymore, total. So you need to take care of business first. You have to know what you're doing, paperwork, business, you name it, you name it, you name it. The average Venezuelan is not going to help you because they live on a different reality that you live. So you need special people, let's say lawyers, you need accountants, you need people like myself. That's why I started this business on the first place. But it doesn't have to be me, it can be someone else, but someone who knows what they are doing, or at least introduce you to the people who knows what they're doing. So keep that in mind because I'm seeing a lot of mistakes lately, and it will break my heart if all of your Venezuelan endeavor goes crashing down just for a misstep or just a little miscue that is gonna set everything apart. It's gonna turn everything apart regarding your Venezuelan plan.